Hello everyone, this is Buckeyes in the South with Josh Nicely. Let's get into it. So, looking at this game, I live around Knoxville, about 30 minutes out. So, all I heard was how Ohio State was just going to get overwhelmed by UT fans. And I've told everyone in my area that simply wasn't going to happen. And they've blown it out of proportion. I mean, you got good chunks of UT fans in, but it's a playoff game. It's not really like they're oranging the shoe. They got maybe 25, 30,000 people in. The shoe holds 109. That's really not that many. But, as you guys know, Buckeyes just absolutely dominated Tennessee step by step. So, let's get into the gameplay.
Enjoy an historic special night in the horseshoe. The boot.
I do wish our kick returners would have actually tried to kick return something, but circumstances. I see what Ryan Day did.
Josh Kirbyville fair caught, and here comes this Ohio State offense. Will right of the quarterback. They pitch it to the edge. Emeka Ibuka gets a block.
I was telling my brother before we were playing the game on NCAA. I guess it's called Football 25 now, but you guys know what I meant. We were playing this game, and that's the reason he destroyed me with Ohio State. Was he was throwing all the out routes and just using the speed on the outside. Glad to see Ryan Day use it here.
And gets forward for basically in the regular season. Wear and tear reduced, Ryan Day believes. Downfield.
And just look at Henderson getting wide open. Just easily. Will Howard made some good passes all game. Making up for the Michigan game.
Trevion Henderson on the wheel route. Nice ball from Howard. First down near the Volunteer 35. Chip Kelly, the play caller, loves to feature.
And he just looked right at Smith, and he was just better. I heard so much about this Jihad McCoy guy locking Jeremiah Smith down and how Jeremiah Smith is completely ridiculous, and the only reason he's any good is because he shoves people around. And to be quite frank with you, I do not believe that one bit. But, people have to blow it out of proportion, and Tennessee fans are some of the worst losers I've ever seen. But let's continue. That was a beautiful pass.
The freshman
Jeremiah Smith, he's just better than McCoy could have been in one-on-one. Right, perfect in there. Number one didn't have a chance. Oh, I guess that wasn't McCoy, but he just got toasted. That was Gibson, actually.
He does. That's a touchdown for Ohio State, and what a way to start for the Buckeyes.
Buckeyes, like Tennessee.
Yeah, Nico just didn't have any time in this first quarter. And just got absolutely train wrecked by Cody Simon. Just train wrecked him. Cracked his helmet, actually. And just, we were able to get it to our playmakers. Jeremiah Smith was running free all day. Like that play, that's a simple crosser, a little low crosser. Jeremiah Smith out of the slot. They can't stop it.
The Tennessee fans on the road making some noise for Howard. Play fake from the pocket. Downfield.
Can we just talk about, it's underthrown. If he throws it higher, that's a touchdown. Can we just talk about how that was just in there, though? Like, show the replay. Look, just right over the hand, right in. Beautiful. Ibuka just was able to grab it. And just setting up Judkins just to be able to power it right through. Just gorgeous work. Offensive line was very dominant this first couple minutes.
I think it's pretty obvious. 5 play touchdown drives.
Yeah, this is a good job up front. Momentum. This is an offensive line that was much maligned after that Michigan game. Malik Williams at 330 pounds.
I believe this time, yeah. They just, JTT just blew him off the edge, 24/7. They just, Nico was on the ground. They were tired of all the shit talk.
They back off to set up a return. It's a line drive kick again.
Now, this had me scared when I was watching the game initially. I was like, I saw Downs running to his right. You're already off of the way you're meant to, you know, what you're used to returning kicks. And it was kind of a knuckle punt. And just, you know, Henderson, honestly, I predicted, I had made a bet with my buddy that we were going to hold Dylan Sampson under 100 yards. And I said Travion was probably going to get upwards of close to 100, and he did. Dylan Sampson got 7 yards. And here goes Henderson, just blew past him, had the speed that no one else had on the field. And that was a touchdown. And this right here is my favorite thing about this young man. I don't know if you guys realize what that means, but he just said Jesus loves you in sign language. So that is pretty incredible. This young man, listening to him speak is just incredible. And just look at this hole. Alright. So, you get taken to the ground. I mean, a little bit of a hold here.
Job there by Luke Montgomery, who has not played a lot of football. Look at him drive the Tennessee defender into the ground. And then Henderson with that speed and acceleration. Just no chance for that back end after the safety Brooks missed it.
A lot of folks wondering, including Ohio State faithful, how
Nico in that pass game and just went up front.
And at this point, I was feeling good. Tennessee has not done good coming back from games. If they take a big lead, they don't come back. Honestly, like, if any team has gotten out in front of them, besides Vandy, I will say Vandy was up 14 points at one point, but that's a whole nother beast. But yeah, let's continue.
pulling the ball and showing his acceleration as a runner. That's their first. The guy's not showing pressure. Rush only 3. Yamaliaba is flushed. Long way to go to get there. And makes a juke. And again.
Now, honestly, our defense, you know, in this into the second quarter or beginning of the first quarter, they gave up some plays, but it wasn't even like they gave up anything big. Like, it was just, you know, players, when you have an explosive offense like Tennessee normally is, their worst games are still going to have highlights, you know. They're extremely talented. And Nico, honestly, like, he played a shit game, but he's got a lot of talent. Like, he's going to do something. Here's Judkins outside, just beautiful. General. And now, we're going to see some plays coming up that were very, very rigged. Not great calls.
To the 47, picked up 10. Is it Georgia Tech Megatron or Randy Moss? That's pretty good comparison for a freshman.
That's pretty good.
You know, Howard, just wide open. Jeremiah Smith. It's too easy. Here's Will Howard. Delivers. And okay, so we're going to go back to that. That was obvious PI here. Like, so blatantly obvious. Look at that. The ball isn't even to his hands yet. I mean, isn't this? And he's already driving him to the ground. And they're saying he didn't get it and it's intercepted. But if they're going to show it, his toe, the ball was moving in his hands.
Ball's tipped, pretty tight coverage. Here's Smith making an effort on this ball. He actually has it. Comes
Look,
out of his hand late.
the ball was moving,
And did a toe hit before
and they're saying it was down. I don't understand that.
Carter there?
Here's
What you have to see.
you see his left foot when he first possesses the ball. Is the left foot still down?
I don't think so.
That's the question.
You know,
Yeah, it's that left toe. That's
it's not firm possession. I mean, I'm just an Ohio State fan here, but
he's a playmaker. He's
some bull crap.
Are you going to load up against the
All right, so,
stay back against the pass? You can't
you know, that sucked.
formations.
strong arm throw.
And, you know, Nico made some good passes on this drive, but I'm going to show you what else was just dumb.
They just can't against this defensive line.
And looking to throw, crossing
Like,
route.
that's a beautiful tight pass. Like, he showed some stuff, like I said.
Comes the blitz off to his right.
This right here. Picked off by Ohio State, Davidson Igbinosun. You know, that was a terrible pass. But they call roughing the passer. But, according to college football rules,
Bill here, but I think it was
when the quarterback leaves the ground, he considers himself he's not defensive. He leaves the ground on his own will, which is completely ridiculous because he was already being engaged.
the fact that he grabbed Nico as he threw it and then
So watch this.
into the ground. Ohio State brings pressure on the outside. It gets
Kenyatta Jackson grabs him. He's already falling forward. Nico jumps into him.
drove him into the ground. Ohio State brings pressure on the outside. It gets picked up.
Look,
Watch 97 after the
he's already tackling him as the ball leaves.
Bill, what is that?
I'm sure that's what it was called for.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even flagrant. Like, that wasn't like it was a ridiculous hit either. That was just a little tap, you know, took him to the ground. It's not roughing the passer. Any Tennessee fan who thinks it's roughing the passer needs to go to the Ref Academy, obviously. So Tennessee gets 3 off of that, which is completely funny after, you know, how screwed Ohio State got on that. And, you know, this is right here, heads up play by Henderson. He just cuts it back. I mean, I don't know if he stepped out. They didn't call it that way. It kind of looked like he did. You know, Nico made another good pass to Brew. And, like, I like Brew, too. So, like, I'm not giving any crap for Brew. He honestly didn't have a good game. The whole Tennessee wide receiving core was not good.
Sampson can't be an impact player tonight. How does that change what Tennessee's doing on
Well,
offense?
it's Evan Kitzelman there, but he squeezed it in for a 4th and short.
Playing with tempo and quick burst.
And that right there was a clutch tackle by Caleb Downs. He was able just to hold on to the foot of number 18. If he didn't, that's a touchdown.
Deshaun Bishop, go. Tennessee has all 3 timeouts. Another throw underneath.
That's a good pass.
Made on escaping the tackle is Dante Thornton, the big playmaker, finally gets involved tonight. Red zone. Can they get 7 here? Buckeyes among the best in the country. Red zone defense.
And I really wish Sawyer would have picked that off. We've seen him do it all season. He just been on top.
Score right now on 2nd and 10. Iamaleava's gonna run.
This was just a massive, like,
And he's still fighting.
that's a confidence play for Nico right there.
Legs. Heupel spends a timeout. His right. Iamaleava straight keeper cut.
And Nico,
Scores.
this is what made me mad.
Punches back
He hits the LeBron.
in the final
He's down by 11 points. 11 points. He's thrown basically nothing. He's gotten sacked. He gets a 2-yard rush and he hits the LeBron. Bruh, you just messed up. And honestly, I think it's hilarious because we're about to see what they did in the second half, and
Tennessee
he
grinds it
looked
out.
like trash.
Clock of 66, so I just mentioned Davis, and there's that.
By the way, growing up around Knoxville and living here currently, it's been absolute hell these last 2 weeks. People have been going crazy. So this was literally like a gift from God for Christmas.
This kid has been hit a lot in his first half.
You said hard. That's a great word. Maliava on that drive, 4 for 5 as a passer.
No, Will Howard just hands it off. Trey just hurdles. You know, I don't really know what the game plan was here. I would have personally needed out, but no, it is what it is. Henderson gets it again over the middle. I mean, that's not an easy kick. So, like, don't give Fielding any crap for missing this. This is a very tough kick.
This direction pre-game, the ball was traveling better, but that one really had no chance. Up here, they begin to lean forward.
So Nico pitches it out. Latham Ransom comes in and just takes him down. Now Howard, just a little easy 3rd and 2. They completely just routed Tennessee's defense. They were not ready for the receiving core that we have. And Will Howard again. Howard had an amazing game. Like, G. Scott even gets involved. Little flutter out. Now here's Howard again. Easy up. Beautiful pass. You can't throw it any better than that. Jeremiah Smith cooking this loser right here. Just absolutely cooking him.
Jeremiah Smith, his second tonight. Sensational playoff debut for this freshman.
This is what Will Howard wanted to see.
Just watch this. Beautiful ball.
Terrible coverage, but he had a step on him. But look how perfectly this football is dropped over that outside.
Will Howard was on. He really deserved. Like, that pick should not count against him. It was bobbled, obviously, you know. Nico again. Holding Jack Sawyer. Completely holding Sawyer back there. And it's tipped again. This time Cody Simon. 4th and 4. And then here comes Quinshawn just powering through the middle. I would have liked Quinshawn to get a little bit more action. They really didn't run it much. And even Howard towards the end of this game was just... They were just having fun. Like, this whole game, they looked like they were just having a blast. Howard, beautiful pass to Carnell Tate. I do wish Tate would have been a little bit more involved as well. He had 1 reception for, 18 yards. Wasn't anything big, but, he did help a lot on screen passes and stuff. He's a tank with the blocking and over the middle and picking and all sorts of stuff. Judkins was a little bit short here. One thing I'm not sure is, if I'm Judkins, I mean, that's a hard angle to take, yeah. If I'm Judkins, though, I'm grabbing the ball, and I'm just trying to run through that dude. And, he showed it here. He just scored again. 2 touchdowns. It's 35-0. 35-10. Should really be like 35-3 if the refs call a game. Not blaming the Zebras. They just weren't very good. So, Nico here hands it off. And this, I saw this as like, the game was basically over. But, like, I saw that, I was like, okay, that's a run. And I saw this. Jack Sawyer just got home. Captain Jack was just ripping on him. This whole game. Here's Nico again, running up the middle. And, he's athletic as hell. I will give him that. But, you know, our defense is just better. Cody Simon brings him down. Got about 4th and 6. And this here, watch down here. Igmanosin slips. And he completely misses the throw. But he wants a flag there. Looking at the actual replay from the game. He fell, and there was a little bit of like a jersey grab, but it wasn't even like a hold. It was like a I'm slipping type grab on to something, you know. And now this play right here reminded me of the 2014 Sugar Bowl versus Alabama, where Ezekiel Elliott took it. Pretty sure it was 59 yards through the heart of the South. Travion Henderson just gashed them, showing why Ohio State's better. Big Ten is way better than the SEC. I will take that back. That's not actually true, but you know, just proving that the Big Ten's better in this situation. And JTT just completely killed on that. I mean, that's not even bad offensive line play, and trust me, I'm very familiar with the offensive line. I almost played it myself. I mean, he retreats a little bit. Like, you see, he retreats, he takes a step, and instead of moving his feet, he tries to lean on JTT here. You can see him starting to lean. And that's why, instead of shuffling, JTT was able to get off 66's block so fast. And he is just a freak of nature, as you guys saw last year versus Penn State. And he just drives Nico down. You know, it's a strip sack. Sampson was able to recover it, but it should have been a turnover. And JT is, you know, fired up because they gave our defensive line a lot of shit after the Michigan loss. And, I mean, it was deserved. They didn't get any pressure on a very, very bad offense. But, like, they showed up this game.
But it's a huge loss. Potentially, it could be a 16-0 national champion. They're the only team that arrives without...
And, you know, it's garbage time. Ohio State's got the second and third team players in. You know, you got C.J. Hicks and got just a whole bunch of players that wouldn't be on the field if it's garbage time. So Tennessee runs it down the field, and got to give him props for driving down and, you know, ending on a good note. Nico runs it in. He 66 honestly should have got a flag there for shoving, but it is what it is. Will Howard had an incredible game, honestly. Great passes, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, so that's basically it for this game. You know, Ohio State 42 to Tennessee 17. Let's pull some stats real fast. Give me 1 second. So player stats, let's start with Tennessee. Nico went 14 for 31, which is, 42%, something like that, for 104 yards. And UT had some big rushing yards. Team stat-wise, rushing, they had 152 yards. Passing yards, they only had 104, and then 256 total yards. And they just weren't good on third down or fourth down. They did run more plays than Ohio State, but they punted 7 times and had 6 penalties for 50 yards. Now player stats for Ohio State. Will Howard went 24 for 29, which is ridiculous. For 311 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then the pick that I'm not really going to count Devin Brown also got a completion for 6 yards. In garbage time, Henderson had 10 carries for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Howard had 5 rushes for 37 yards. No touchdowns, though. And then Judkins had 10 carries for 34 yards, but 2 touchdowns. And then Peoples had 7 carries for 6 yards, but he really wasn't, like, they were just trying to get off the field. Jeremiah Smith had 103 receiving yards, and Ibuka had 81. And then defense-wise, JT had 2 sacks and 5 tackles. Or 8 tackles, correction. Captain Jack had 1.5 sacks and 5 tackles. And then Cody Simon had 2 deflections. But realistically speaking, Ohio State dominated. So, it's on to Oregon. I will make a video talking about that matchup coming up. But as always, thank you guys for watching Ohio State football from the South with Josh Nasley. Peace.